What's up, guys? Right on Sports News. Today we're going to be talking about why Jalen Hurts should not be the league MVP. Now, a lot of people look at Jalen Hurts and look at what the Eagles have been doing, and they say, hey, we haven't seen this before. We got a new quarterback that's playing like an all-star. Let's just go ahead and give him MVP. Let's hold off on that. Now, I know a lot of people just love doing that, give the new kid on the block the MVP trophy, but let's be honest, there's a lot of better players that could be getting the MVP trophy. Now, unfortunately, the MVP trophy has pretty much become a quarterback trophy. Not really anybody else ends up getting any recognition or thought to go into that MVP voting. Because, honestly, this year, I think maybe Justin Jefferson should get a look at it. In previous years, you look at it, last year, Jonathan Taylor should have got a look. Aaron Donald definitely should have been getting some looks in years prior. Even that crazy year that J.J. Watt had, definitely we should have been given looks, but instead we're constantly giving them the quarterbacks. It's more of a quarterback award now. With that being said, everybody looking at the Eagles' success and seeing what Jalen Hurts is doing, they said, you know what? Jalen Hurts should be MVP. That couldn't be further from the case because I got a list of some stats. And honestly, no, it doesn't always boil down to stats. There's other things that come into play. But some of these stats are just so overblown, you can't possibly look the other direction. Now, I'm just going to start off this by saying my top pick for MVP right now is Patrick Mahomes. I don't think there's any other quarterback in the league that has played up to Mr. Mahomes' standards this year. And let's just dive right into the stats. Now, when you look at compare between Mahomes and Hurts, the completion percentage is pretty much the same. You got Mahomes at 67 and Hurts at 67.3. Not much of a difference there. So, pretty accurate quarterbacks. Then you got the yards. And you got Mahomes at already over 5,000 passing yards. And Hurts is just sitting there at 3,472. So already, there's a 1,600-yard difference between these two quarterbacks. And, you know, quarterbacks throw the ball. So that's a big deal. Now, yards per attempt, they're very similar, 8.1, 8.2. But once again, sets them apart. Mahomes has 40 touchdown passes. Hurts only has 22. So that's an 18 touchdown pass differential. That's pretty big. And then you look at the interceptions. Okay, Hurts has 5. Mahomes has 12. We all know Mahomes likes to take chances, and especially with that receiving core this year. I mean, he's throwing to Juju Smith-Schuster. He's throwing to Marquez Valdes-Scantling, throwing to Sky Moore, Mecole Hardman. He's had a bunch of different receivers when Hurts has A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert at tight end. Very prominent receiving options, and then you have Mahomes playing with, you know, guys that teams just didn't want. Mahomes putting up those kinds of numbers, and the Eagles have a lot better of a defense than the Chiefs do. Mahomes is still outperforming Hurts and giving that Chiefs team a lot more hope in the playoffs than what Hurts is giving the Eagles right now. Now, granted, Hurts has a lot more rushing yards. He has 747 rushing yards. Mahomes only has 329. And Hurts has 13 rushing touchdowns. A lot of them are 1-yard rushing touchdowns. We've all seen it every week. Calm down. And Mahomes has 4 rushing touchdowns, which is fine. All that proves is that Hurts is a better running back than Mahomes. But other than that, Mahomes has been the better quarterback. He's been the better player, and he's the better MVP candidate. By far. I don't think many people that have watched football this year are going to argue with that sense. Now let's just move on to the next quarterback. People would say, well, wouldn't Hurts at least be the runner-up? No. Runner-up this year I have is Joe Burrow. Now, why do I have Joe Burrow? Look at the stats. Joe Burrow has a 69.2 completion percentage. Hurts, 67.2. So he's got a 2-point difference in completion percentage. Pretty good. Burrow's just not much, but a more accurate quarterback. Once again, yards. Burrow has 4,312 yards. Hurts has 3,472. 472. So there's about 1,000-yard difference there between Burrow and Hurts. Burrow's just a lot better. Yards per attempt, Burrow has 7.6, Hurts is 8.2, a little bit similar there. And then you got touchdowns once again. Burrow, 35 passing touchdown, Hurts only 22. So Burrow's throwing for a lot more touchdowns. Burrow also, same thing, takes a lot of risks, a lot of chances. 12 interceptions, Hurts only has 5. And once again, Hurts proves he's a better running back than Joe Burrow, which is fine because Burrow will sit back and throw the ball every play, and he doesn't care because he's that good of a quarterback. And then you look at the way the Bengals win. It's not with their defense. It's not with their run game. Even their run game is solid. It's always Burrow making the plays, making the throws when he needs to, and winning big-time games. And at the beginning of the season when you're looking like, I don't know if the Bengals are going to do it again this year, they're looking like a major threat going to this playoffs and might repeat as the AFC conference champions. And this is all because of Burrow. Now with Hurts, could you say that, are the Eagles that good without Hurts? I mean, I think they are. I mean, they almost beat the Cowboys with Gardner Minshew at quarterback. There's a lot going on the Eagles team that, Hurts isn't the main reason why they're winning. And I think if you look at the Chiefs and the Bengals, you take Burrow off the Bengals, you take Mahomes off the Chiefs, those teams aren't winning many games. Let's just be honest. I mean, before Burrow got to Cincinnati, it was one of the worst teams in football. I mean, hell, they had the #1 pick to snatch up Burrow. And if you look at the Chiefs, granted, they had Alex Smith before Mahomes got there, but they were never a Super Bowl threat like they are with Mahomes. Now, my last comp, I'm going to go ahead and say this is a guy that not a lot of people were talking about for MVP, but we're going on ahead and saying, well, Hurts should be the MVP. And then I'm looking at this guy's stats and the team he's playing for, and granted, Hurts plays for a much, bigger fan base. It's better for the NFL if an Eagle quarterback wins it. Let's go ahead and it's bigger market, but nobody's talking about Mr. Geno Smith. And I'll be honest with you, I'm looking at it. Geno Smith might actually have Jalen Hurts' season beat. You go ahead, you look at the comp percentage. Geno Smith has a completion percentage of 70.2. That's 3 points better than Hurts's. And you look at the yards, Geno's over 4,000 yards. Hurts is still trying to get over 3,500. Yards per attempt, 7.5 to 8.2, pretty similar. Geno Smith, once again, beats Hurts in passing touchdowns. It seems like everybody's beating Hurts in passing touchdowns that's been healthy this year. He's got 29, Hurts has 22, interceptions 9 to 5, so that's actually pretty close. And then you look at Hurts. Hurts has 400 yards more rushing than Geno. Okay, you proved you're a better running back yet again. We're quarterbacks here. Throw the ball. And, that's fine and all. Geno Smith's season has looked a little bit better than Jalen Hurts. And you look at what Geno Smith is playing with. I mean, we were talking about the Seattle Seahawks as being the #1 overall pick this year. We had no thoughts that the Seahawks were going to be any good. And then look at what Geno Smith is doing. And I think Geno Smith has a better chance of winning MVP, or should, than Jalen Hurts, because honestly, what Geno's doing is a lot more spectacular than what Hurts is doing. And I know I made the comment that, these quarterbacks that have all been healthy have more passing touchdowns. I mean, Hurts has really only missed 2 games, but at the same time, Hurts isn't going to put up 18 touchdowns in 2 games. I mean, hell, if he's only trailing Geno by 7 touchdowns, he's not going to do that in 2 games either. So even if Hurts plays, he's going to have less. All I'm saying is that let's pull the ropes back. I don't think Jalen Hurts is good enough to be MVP. I don't even think he's good enough for top 5 because, like I said earlier in the episode here, I would have put Justin Jefferson, and he's my number 3 right now for MVP. I think he should be getting a lot of recognition for what he's doing with the Vikings, because if you take him off the Vikings, all of a sudden, Kirk Cousins might be looking for a job in the XFL. I don't see it. I don't see Jalen Hurts as an MVP quarterback. The team's good. That's great. But Hurts is just, I don't know. I don't see it. And I don't see his style of play being a style that's going to continue on for years. I honestly don't think Hurts is going to be that much of a threat going forward. And he might have a couple decent seasons like a Lamar Jackson, but I don't think it's going to continue. But hey, we shall see. Maybe I'll be proved wrong. If you liked the video, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any suggestions of what I should make in upcoming videos, leave a comment below and let me know what you think. And I'll be sure to read it and hopefully make your suggestion a reality. So, like always, right on, brother. Have a good night.